All right, here we go. New day, and man, it's already starting to feel like the weekend. I hope that your morning is going well. I hope that you are fully dressed and ready to begin the day. We have Deb Phillips with us from The World as we join in with her every single Wednesday morning from The World newspaper. Good morning, Deb. How are you?
Yes, and she is fully dressed
Yes, here we
and
go.
ready for the day.
Ready to go. uh,
Um,
Deb, talk to me. You guys had a real nice feature in The World last week, all about Easter services, where to go, what to do, and it was like some ongoing stuff too.
oh yeah, definitely. It was a good Easter, I think, for everybody.
Yeah,
So
it was.
um, this week's paper, we are us World is strong advocates for shopping local, and we do this promotion every year called Shop Where You Live. We feature one of 10 local businesses each week. Feature advertiser this week is the Wayside Restaurant in Montpelier, who've been serving delicious Yankee cooking since 1918. Also, this week we have some kids' summer camps. Those are filling up fast. So, if you need, want to get kids in the summer camps, now's the time to sign up for sure.
Yeah, I think that that sign up started April 1st. Frankly, I wouldn't have even known about it if it wasn't for The World because you guys have had that in there.
Yeah, well, we do. We try to promote that because I know parents, summer's coming and they need a lot of different camps and stuff for the kids and the camps need the kids. So it works out really well.
Yeah. What else? Anything else you can think of, Deb?
Actually, no, just lots of local news as usual. And lots of events coming up. So definitely, the papers are here and they're out in fact, Chris is here right now getting
Yeah.
his papers, getting ready to bring you your paper.
I can't wait. I can't wait. It's nice that you guys always get the Opera House right there on the front cover. What's happening right here in our city? I love that.
Oh, yeah. And they've got a cover coming up for this next week too. So yeah, it really does help fill up the Opera House, with the events that they have.
Yeah. Um, Deb, please say hi to Gary for us, and not just Gary. And I know I'm always throwing love at him, but there's so many of you over there that make this happen. It's not just the two of you that are making a paper like this so massive and getting into the hands and into the eyes of so many people across Central Vermont.
Thank you, JD.
You
Really
got,
appreciate it.
yeah, you got it. We'll talk to you soon, Deb. All right.
All right. Thanks.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
VT-world.com. Check them out today. Yeah, a few people jumping on this morning. Loudon Granger sitting right next to me. Good morning, buddy. How the heck are you? Oh, my God. Do you really have the... I haven't even noticed. Oh, my God. Wow. Whew. And Abby, poor Abby, has to be seen in public with you wearing that every day.
Good morning, everyone.
How are you, buddy?
Thanks for having us down here.
Happy spring. Now, were there some Easter socks at all?
Yeah, so, dude, I just wore these special for you.
Yeah, thank
My
you.
feet are cold, but no, these are my Hoagland Group socks.
Dude.
They got windmills on them. This is a line company we're working with for Sweethearts and Heroes.
Really?
And I wore my
Yes.
shirt, Buckingham. I'm trying to dress like Chad today.
Yeah.
This is Chad's outfit. We have matching quarter zips, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude. And that's what a great company, man.
Yeah.
And I've been following them on Facebook and seeing what they're doing, too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're good. They sponsored the Fifth Wire. They're a big part in partnershiping with us.
Who is this guy? Who is it? People are wondering. This is Loudon Granger from Sweethearts and Heroes, who comes in every now and then. And when you do, I've said this last time, you always make me feel good, man. You always bring the positive message on the air.
Dude, you make me feel good, and I love your audience is fun, and Glenn's in the chat already. Thank you for the compliment on the socks.
Yes, yeah. And Tom will be on at some point when he wakes up. He usually sleeps into like 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Something like that.
And then watches cartoons and the cereal and the
Push-ups
pajamas.
and
Yeah. Look at you and I with the hats on backwards.
I know.
Dude, why is that? What's going on?
You know, I thought we were gonna go for more of like a punk rock theme today, but it sounds like we're just keeping it cool.
We look like a couple of OGs.
I love it.
Wow.
I got your text last night that you want to do backwards hats, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do backwards hats on the air tomorrow.
Thank you for reading that, because it was very important. And I know it was very late last night, but I was like, you know what? We have to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's perfect.
Dude, tell me about this fifth wire. What is this all about? Can you break this down for us?
I will.
Yeah, please. There's 4 wires.
This is the 5th one.
Okay, but there's always 4 though.
Mm-hmm. And this is the 5th one, though.
Okay.
That a lot of people don't even know exists.
All right. So when we take the razor blade, we cut it open. We got the ground.
Yes, we do.
Talk to me. What's the next one? The black one, the white one.
Yep.
The copper one.
Yeah, that's usually the ground.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
And
I call it the copper one.
Sometimes, and I think they're all copper grounds. And sometimes, depending on what type of wire you have for like indoor, you have like a red one
Yes.
for like 3-way switches and stuff.
Yeah. Right.
But anyways, this is the 5th wire, bro. This is the one that you can't see, the one that runs between all of us as human beings.
I
The
like
5th
this.
wire, the connecting wire that connects all of us. It's the energy between all of us, and that's really what that is just like, you know, our peer network, our social peer network, and that's really from a high view. That's what the 5th wire series is about, specifically dedicated to and made for. We say electrical contractors just because that's kind of the theme of it now, but you know, they're common human things. I mean, you can transcend this content across any human trade, individual, industry, whatever you want to call anything. It exists, and we could point it out. But this one, the 5th wire, specifically for contractors.
The electrical line workers. What an industry that is. And you and everyone from Sweethearts and Heroes and Tom especially really recognize that these folks work so hard. They put in ridiculous hours, and they're absolutely critically in need when especially if there's something going on, we got a storm, whatever, no matter where they are in the country, no matter what the weather's doing. Yeah. It's not like they can be like, yeah, well, we're going to wait for the freezing rain to stop, and then we'll start working on the wires.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Like, they are everywhere. I mean, they are the essence of infrastructure everywhere. And I wouldn't even just say America. I'd say literally anywhere there's electricity, there's linemen. Yeah. And it's crazy. You know the things like, when you get a new truck or something and then you are driving around and you see that truck everywhere, you know, or you like see like, whatever.
Of course.
It's like that concept. So since we started working with these linemen, man, every time we're driving, we're like, oh, linemen.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just linemen, people who are running power lines. There's also like teledata, right? So like people who are doing telephone, internet kind of stuff, up in the buckets, fixing things. And then there's also tree people or tree men or tree groups, which like you're saying, after storms or something, like if a tree falls on, a
wires,
pole
whatever.
or wire, anything, they're up there climbing, oftentimes in horrible conditions, weather conditions, climbing up with Buckingham gear, probably usually, and cutting these trees down and making them safely go down and clearing up. And they do it all. They're like the special forces of infrastructure. And
in this time of year, April, this is when out west, I mean, Tornado Alley and that whole region is this is when Mother Nature, Old Man Winter, is fighting.
Oh yeah,
hard.
That's totally right. And sorry to cut you off there, but when you even say out west, like in Vermont, I've lived in Vermont my whole life. Yeah, I traveled a tiny bit, but I haven't spent a ton of time living other places. But the magnitude of some of these poles, they're not just wooden poles. They are massive, like cranes and like all types of different. It's shocking. Like we have this we're working with a group in Alaska right now who's given us some footage of them kind of working, and like just the mass of like what they're building out there, and even probably in the Midwest, like where you just have to cover vast strips of keeping everyone connected. Man, it's just a whole different level of scale that like I wouldn't imagine it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just the standard in other places, you know?
One of the highest rates of suicide, if not the highest, and it may be the highest, it is.
Yeah, they lead the contracting world. Out of all the contractors, electrical, high voltage power linemen specifically, have the highest suicide rate. They doubled the Marine Corps nearly.
For suicide rate.
For suicide rate. They like nearly double that. And there's and the fifth wire touches on why, right? Why this is.
There's mental demand, there's physical demand.
The environments are shockingly stressful. The no pun intended. The lifestyle.
The lifestyle
is like cowboy circus.
Yeah.
You know.
You're on the move.
The type of human being it takes to, well, I mean, you have to be smart, but you also have to be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
These
Sure.
linemen are crazy too.
Sure.
And sometimes those personalities like other things as well. And all that stuff,
Yeah.
you know, plus the, you know, just the world, you
Yeah.
know, the general stress and pressure of the entire world, and,
Sure.
and even just humans have
Yeah.
majority of negative emotions and negative thoughts. That's just kind of like our pessimistic survival baseline, like
Norm.
safeguard. You know what I'm saying? Like, be skeptical, be negative slightly. It'll save your life. So all that kind of stuff mixed on top of society, plus all these other factors and
Yeah,
significance.
and then throw in some home life,
a
marriage,
Yeah.
kids, missed games,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it may be, back at home. And meanwhile, you're ripping around the eastern seaboard or wherever you are, from hotel to hotel,
Yeah.
putting out one situation after another. We need our electricity.
Yep.
And we're here in Vermont, we're often running down and helping out other states like Massachusetts.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
That's exactly right. And that's kind of really the whole fifth wire, kind of, that's the scene. If we're to set the scene of, you know, this is where the problem exists. I mean, the numbers do not lie on how prevalent this is in their community. And also, you know, like, you can relate this whole thing back to a fire drill, right? Like, you know, a fire drill. What do you do if you catch on fire? You have to stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah.
Right. That's a really easy way to remember how to save yourself when you're burning a little bit. You know, it's like a really easy way. It's like children know this because it's super easy. Stop, drop, roll, and they practice, and it's kind of fun and silly, and maybe they roll on the ground once in a while, but they never do catch on fire. Like, it's very rare that a child does catch on fire. But we have trained all these kids to have a protocol if they do.
Yeah.
Which is great, you know.
Sure.
But with these linemen, it's far more likely. You know, it's 5 times more likely that a lineman will end their own life than what OSHA predicts their top 4 accidental
Accidents.
killers. You know, like if OSHA says, hey, watch out for these 4 things on the job. Watch out for these 4 things. These kill the most people. You are so understand that. You are 5 times more likely to end your own life with your own hands than any of OSHA's already be aware.
5 times.
5 times. Isn't that bizarre? That's crazy. So that means that there's something that's going on that we're not addressing. We're touching a fifth wire, and it's getting us. And instead of handling it properly by insulating it or isolating it, which is like the electrical contractor's world of stop, drop, and roll, if there's something they have to deal with high voltage, you don't just shut the power off. They work with it live. You know what I mean? You don't shut the power off for a lot of these repairs. They have to insulate around it with like these big blanket things. And they have to, so then in their boots are little insulated boots and stuff.
Couldn't pay me enough.
Couldn't pay you enough, you know, and you have to isolate different situations. So we're essentially trying to take that same insulate, isolate, safety, stop, drop, and roll kind of application and applying it to the challenge that's larger than what even OSHA knows about.
And you bring this Fifth Wire presentation where?
Everywhere. That's such a great question, man. We bring it everywhere. Like Tom specifically has been from literally Puerto Rico at a national NICA convention to Idaho to talking with people in Alaska to Syracuse to just all over. There are all these different districts. Abby and I just went down and filmed in Atlantic City, New Jersey, at Caesar's Palace. They had a District 3 huge safety annual thing. So we went down there, and the Fifth Wire presentation was presented there. We recorded that, so we have a nice documentation of that presentation.
Is this what's dropping tonight?
So no, so we are dropping something cool and new tonight. An element of this Fifth Wire, and this is the Fifth Wire is just a general package. And if anyone is actually truly more curious about this, you can just go to thefifthwire.com, the5thwire.com. You can go to that and just check out that stuff. Cool graphics. It's really neat. But when what's dropping tonight is embedded in this Fifth Wire series, there's just a little bit of history of how we got to where we are, working with linemen, working with these people, this group specifically. And it's called The Tale of Three Bracelets. And it's not necessarily needed for the Fifth Wire, but it's an interesting story. So we're dropping the Tale of Three Bracelets live tonight around dinner time on our YouTube channel for people to tune in, because it's a really interesting, compelling story, and you can talk about fate, destiny, God, the universe, or whatever you want to say, whatever your beliefs are of how things fall into place, coincidence even, just happenstance. It all kind of aligns here, and it's a really interesting story. It's about 17 minutes long, and we're dropping it tonight.
What give us a little bit more about what the story is about.
So the story's about, it's just in hindsight, right? I forgot who said it, but I think it might have been Steve Jobs, is you can't connect the dots. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. You can't connect them while you're in it.
Yes.
Something like that.
Was that Steve Jobs that said that?
Probably not. I might be missing, but I could have swore it was. I think it is Steve Jobs.
Okay.
Someone can get on ChatGPT and use some water and fact check me if they want.
Well, I'm going to do that in a second.
All right. But anyways, so are you finding it on there?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the Fifth Wire here.
Yeah, that's not it though. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, it is. Let's see it. I want to see that for a second too.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So check this out. So Brian did all this, by the way, and you can see we're partnered with Buckingham there. But yeah, that's the
You want to click on this?
Yeah, if you want to, man.
All right.
Yeah, see, look at this. So this was in Syracuse right here, and that's Tom doing his thing. That's one of our meetings. Abby shot that video right there. And yeah, this is a Fifth Wire presentation specifically. And that's Cheryl Richardson. She's another person we're working very close with.
Well, hang on a second. Should we go back and listen to this?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's do it right now.
You realize that 83% of the men, the women that you work with struggle with mental health issues in this field.
Mental health is really our battle right now. We perfected our training, we perfected our PPE, but now we're into the invisible things, and that is where you have to do the really hard work.
You talk about safety. You put all this effort, all this money, all this time into safety.
My goal is make sure that all of our members go to work and they come home safe.
A lineman is 5 times more likely to take their own life with their own hands than to die in a workplace-related injury.
I get really emotional over this stuff. The problem is not getting any better. It's actually increasing.
And we had a recent loss, so it's really hitting home to try to get to the next level of where we can get a lot more prevention than what we've had right now, which is suffering losses.
The general suicide rate in America is between 12 and 14 per 100,000. The Marine Corps leads the armed services, 34.9 per 100,000. Our electrical contractors, between 52 and 68 per 100,000.
Think about the money that we spend in safety. How much you spend on that machine that protects these gloves, that checks these gloves, that tests your hot stick. How much PPE do you guys spend and buy? And what do we do for this one? We slap a sticker on someone's helmet. Here's a number to call, bud, if you're not feeling good. Good luck with that. That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
If we were having a lot of contact incidents, if we were having a lot of grounding incidents, we would look for someone who can train us properly in this. We would bring the right people in to help us. It's not that there's a lack of caring or communication, it's we don't have the tools. Sometimes we need help.
They have to be able to have these life-saving, simple skills that anyone can do. And we'll give you the solution. We'll give you the answer to preventing the greatest of all the personal injuries. I believe with all my heart that 100% of suicides are preventable.
Damn, fella.
Yeah.
That's really profound stuff right there.
Yeah, and I just think you can see with that graphic, you can see like, you know, what you have the general suicide rate in America. You have what we think, you know, Marines like, and think about this, like people who actually go to war, who have to face the challenges and the moral justification and all these internal things with war, like people like Rick, Chad, even my father, like, you know, very high suicide rate. And then people who are climbing poles doing this electrical work is nearly double even that than someone who goes to war. Like that is something's not being addressed here.
Sure.
Something's being overlooked. What are the odds of that, dude? So anyways, the Tale of Three Bracelets is just kind of like a story back through time. I think it starts around like 2020 or something, where Tom's journey, I mean, obviously we were in schools. We've been in schools for a long time. But it's like, how do you go from being in a school to being out here at a, you know, in a union hall or at, you know?
You guys are shifting a pretty big gear.
Yeah. But the common thread in regards to this all, one, is the reason why people have this destructive decision of suicide. That's true for every human. The reasons and what it takes and like all the things that have to line up for someone to come to that conclusion and commit in the moment. Rick talks about it all the time. All the little Swiss cheese factors that have to line up. Like imagine, like, just this is a great way to think about it, is if you just had the layers of Swiss cheese and you're just arranging them until the holes
line up.
And you can see through. Those are all the variables that have to line up just for a moment for something like this to actually happen. You know what I'm saying? We all have the same Swiss cheese in our life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, for this example, it's just...
And once we've made up our mind,
well,
we go forward with things very quickly.
Well, we do in the moment. However, as you'll hear with even Rick, he'll say it is just a moment. That's why his entire message, like if you have this moment, the moment only lasts about 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And then once the 15 minutes, it's a strange relief, like if you don't go through with it, of, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was thinking that. And that's where Rick's whole entire message of this hopelessness, because when you have those moments, really what you are is you're without hope. You are hopeless.
Yes.
Okay? So that is the state in which these thoughts occur. If you can make it through, or I'll just say hold on through those 15 minutes, you will get hope again, because possibilities do exist beyond that moment. And it's an action, right? In action, we know action changes everything. We just know that. So holding on, the endurance of holding on and just riding it out and just going through it, you know, on the other side of that, rewards will come. And that is literally Rick's whole entire proof.
And let's just be honest here about Rick. I mean, a guy that was blown up in Iraq, burning alive, covered in diesel fuel, lost his leg, lost his hands, lost his ears, lost his nose, lost most of his skin, still alive.
Yeah.
And most people would not want to be.
You know, I got this really, that's true too. You would think that, and even Rick himself said that he wouldn't want to be either. He said like the week before, this is a couple things, like I've interviewed Rick a few times, like kind of like, you know, like, give it to me straight, dude.
Yeah.
Like, give me, because I want to figure this out. I want to understand this more. And you might even know this already, but he said to his buddies, he says, like,
yeah,
if I ever lose a leg, I want you to shoot me.
I remember.
So,
he
like-
told me the same thing.
So that's a wild turnaround, right? And you just listed all the things he lost. And over these last like couple times talking to Rick and interviewing Rick, I was like, kind of paint the scene for me before you even joined the military. Like, what was you looking like? Now, when Rick was on this podcast before, I said to him, I commented one time, I said, why don't you sing a little bit? And I wasn't just messing with him. No, I found out that Rick actually used to be the lead singer of a band, dude.
Did not know that.
He used to be in like a metal band and kind of like a underground, kind of like abandoned warehouse music scene where they, jammed hard. So that was kind of his crew. And he admitted to me, he's actually in the Fifth Wire itself too. It's like Rick kind of sets the scene of his life. He's a young male who just graduated high school. He doesn't really have any career aspirations. He doesn't really know where he's going to go. He doesn't really feel like almost ready to grow up. Other friends he has, they're going to college. They're getting jobs. Look how much I'm getting paid. Look how much. And Rick's just kind of one of his only friends who's just like, I'm here. Like, and that's kind of a relatable feeling.
Yeah.
When you're growing up, like that's just kind of a relatable thing. For some people, I've dealt with elements of that, and you're like, well, when is my life going to start? When am I going to grow up? And then Rick found the military. So at that moment for Rick, when he found the military, that was the golden goose for him.
Yep.
Because that became, I'm going to be in the service, I'm going to do my thing, I'm going to retire, and then therefore I'm going to leverage that into my state trooper 20-year career, and then I'm going to retire there. So that Rick really built his entire life around that new significance, meaning, and acceptance in the military.
So true.
So that just kind of like as a little like sneak peek at what Rick was kind of going through psychologically before even any of this happened, man. Like you could imagine getting an injury like that, it would feel extremely devastating.
Having Rick on the air with me is always an experience, and whether he's here sitting on the couch or whether he's remote somewhere, his attitude, what he brings to the microphones and into the hearts of our listeners here is so profound. And, I was just chatting with Abby this morning about all of the things after having a shoulder replacement that you realize that you've taken for granted. Showering, toileting, brushing your teeth, eating, cooking, driving, the list goes on. Sleeping, the list goes on. And she was like, yeah, can you imagine being Rick? And to have the attitude that he has, it's more than perseverance.
And
the guy's got something inert there that's really powerful.
Yeah, but dude, I think actually and I hear what you're saying, but I think actually, Rick had his mom, his dad, his family, right? And he had like some doctors and PT people at the hospital.
Yeah.
And Rick will say like it wasn't him though who had anything that none of us don't have. What he did have was some people near him who kicked him in the pants a little bit and said, get up and go practice walking. Go try to hold that fork. Go do this. Rick has a great story about a jar of spiders too. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but next time.
I can't remember it either. No, he's told
tell
it.
you about
I
this?
just can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it was a motivational kick him in the pants kind of story. Like, and you'll figure it out. Like, it's just bizarre because, sure, Rick. This is another thing I'm kind of understanding as well. This human connection. Rick had a very unique injury. Like not many people got blown up like that and lived to tell the tale, right? Like that's just true. But feeling hopeless, feeling some of those emotions Rick was feeling throughout his life, That's not as unique. A lot of people in your everyday feel that way. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the rehab for that is the sweethearts around you, the people who are supposed to not say, okay, bro, you don't want to get out of bed today? That's okay. Just lay here, buddy. Here's some ice cream. Here you go. Like, hope you feel better, bud. No, they're like, no, I don't care if you don't want to get up. You're going to get up. You got to practice walking. Rick, you got to get back there. You got to learn how to hold that fork, dude. Let's go. Come on. Get up. I don't want to. No. Tough crap. Get up. Like, that might sound someone who's harsh, right? But no, that's really the essence of what sweethearts are. Sweethearts and heroes, that is the sweetheart axiom of that. People who kind of bully you
Yeah.
for
So that you're not
good.
getting caught up in a downward
In your
spiral.
own wallow.
Which
Because
is very easy to do.
very easy to do. Sometimes you got to get kicked in the pants. And guess what? When you're getting kicked in the pants for a little bit, you're not like, wow, thank you. I mean, some people might be.
Yeah.
But usually you're not. It's not until years later where you're like, wow, thank you for doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So, although Rick's injury is unique, the hopelessness that other humans, because it's a human condition,
Yeah. Is not.
is not that unique. It's actually more common, and that's literally what we're trying to do. You know, and tying this back to the fifth wire is like, we're not there necessarily for the Ricks. And that's weird because you're like, what do you mean? Rick's there to show you that you can go through some hard stuff. But the real takeaway is Rick is not special in that regard. He is a war hero, yes. But like, it's the people around you that can give you that hope. And now Rick found that lesson out the hard way. And now he and Tom are dedicating their lives to be there for the community, insulating around the person who's having a tough time, protecting them, sharing that burden, sharing that strain, sharing that weight.
Breaking stigma, too.
Breaking stigmas, man. You know, because most people don't want to talk about this. They feel like talking about it makes them feel weak because it's like, I don't want to tell you about some of the hardships in my life. You're going to judge me. You're going to think I'm imperfect. You're going to think I'm got all these flaws in my character because I have. And that's where things go wrong. The stigma's kind of built up. And there's kind of this generational, you know, stigma as well.
Sure.
You know, where older generations typically don't talk about it because it tarnishes our character, legacy, reputation. None of your business. It's mine. I won't even talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's relatable too, you know?
Sure.
But when you break it, it doesn't make things worse. It actually makes things easier. If it's mentionable, it's manageable. That's typically how it goes. It gets better. So kind of getting that going and saying, you know, we're all here for you. And it kind of all takes place in Circle, which you already know about.
And we just saw in that video several different clips of Circle, which are when we all get together, sit in a circle, and someone is beginning the question, if you will, of, and we go around one at a time and answer that question and elaborate on it as it goes around.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And Tom's got a whole bunch of new formulas for these industry-based circles because let me just tell you, as you probably could imagine, a circle with a bunch of rugged linemen looks a little different than a circle with a bunch of second graders.
Yes.
You know, probably going to look a little different. Not just age appropriateness.
Yeah.
That is a factor, but also willingness to share, calluses, stigmas, reputations. I'm the alpha around here, you know?
Sure.
It's really, yeah, exactly. Calluses, like physical and
what the hell
emotional.
are we doing right now? We're a bunch of tough guys, man. I don't need to be doing this shit.
Exactly. And that's where you really do have to kind of head fake them and kind of, you know, earn their respect and buy-in and almost kind of model it. But the secret is, man, it's not something that Tom or Rick can do. It's something one of their own leaders has to do.
Yeah.
So if you have like 10 linemen in a circle, right? You know, if you want the dominoes to fall in the way where some real sharing and some real meaningful stuff comes about, Tom can't just be like, share. Like that's not human nature. In their own little community of linemen, it needs to be their top dog. It needs to be like, bro, this is one time I got was in prison because, you know, I
Right.
ran over, you know, whatever. Fill
or,
in the
th- or, th-
blanks.
or this happened in my life that has nothing to do with what we do for work, but it still rents space and,
100%.
and still impacts me.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the times,
Guys don't talk like that.
no, they don't, because it's kind of out of left field, bro, to just bring it up. So a lot of the times, and it's kind of clever, we piggyback and attach a workplace-related injury
Yeah.
into like a kind of more of a personal, intimate casualty as well. I'm not saying death, but like just something. So
Yeah,
for example,
sure.
like, you know, it's no stranger for these industries to have like little safety meetings, right? Like it's almost pretty normal to be like, hey, you know, so and so, like even at TSA people do it all the time. Like if something gets breached or something, the next day there's a meeting around it.
Of course.
And we're fixing this, we're tightening it up. This is where it got through. Same thing in the safety realm too. And obviously one of these linemen and people could talk more in depth about this, but it's just the world of safety, dude. It's just how it goes. However, what we're doing is we're taking those moments where these guys are already going to be talking about this stuff in an actual thing. Like, let's say someone falls off a ladder, right? Like, we're talking about ladder safety. Make sure someone's holding the ladder, spotting your ladder. Make sure you're clipped in if you're really, really high. Whatever. I'm just making this up. We talk about that. You understand the procedures of falling off a ladder. Yep, we understand ladder safety. Okay, thank you. But instead of going to work, we're also going to talk about a time we might have fallen off of something that we were, you know, in our own lives. Like, man, you know, I had a gambling addiction and I thought I had it conquered, man. And I got too cocky. I took my eye off the ball and I fell off the ladder and I went right back into gambling again.
Wow.
And is there anything like that in your life? You're like, wow, you know. And even if there hasn't been anything like that in your life, younger people, like if I was like the senior journeyman of that group, younger apprentices would look at me and be like, wow, no, nothing's ever happened to me like that. But in my years as I will age, when I'm in situations that are similar, I will think back to your story because you are a role model to me. I aspire to be like you when I'm older, and I will watch out for that stumbling block.
Wow.
So that's kind of the sneaky way, because if you were just to say, hey, buddy, when's the time you screwed up? People are like, I never screw up.
Yeah.
I've got to get to work. We got to get going.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's just a subtle way to connect the dots because we have a lot more in common.
Kudos to Tom for walking into a room full of electrical linemen and tough guys.
Yeah.
And just smashing that stigma of we're all tough guys here. Let's get on with this. Let's get this over with so that we can get back to work.
Yeah.
Tom's he's an interesting one.
Yeah.
We not all of us can do that.
No, it's tricky. Really, no. And yeah, and I guess eventually it'll be them doing it for each other.
Yeah, right.
And that's kind
That's
of
the
really
goal.
the goal. It's not, I mean, we're trying to lay the groundwork and trying to suggest where this thing should go, but it's really up to all of them in that respective communities. And same thing goes with schools, man.
Yeah,
It's the same thing with schools.
That's a perfect transition because you talk about sustainability and carrying this message on and giving folks the tools to bring that to others. Let's go to schools.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about the student teacher empathy program.
Dude, let me just give you a high picture thing, and I wasn't even going to talk about this yet. I just thought of this yesterday. I had an aha moment, a light bulb moment, okay? And I come here today, and on your chair beside me,
Wow.
there's a light bulb right here.
Wow.
So I'm just going to explain this,
This
okay?
is not planned.
So this is not planned at all. This is JD's. All right? So we have a light bulb here. I want you to all, who's ever watching, and even you, to envision
Here, have another one.
No, that's even better. This
Take that one.
is even better. Okay.
And listen, if you want another one, just let me know. I got more down here.
This is perfect. Okay, so we all know what this looks like. There's like some prongs. There's something that connects the prongs.
Yeah.
And then there's like a bulb to protect that mechanism.
The filaments or
The
whatever.
filaments, right.
Thank
and
you.
then this thing just plugs right in. And once there's energy running to it, it lights up a room, right?
Right.
Very easy, right?
Exactly.
Super easy to understand, okay? So this is literally less than 24 hours old in my brain. But this is how I see everything. So I'm going to use my hands now. Prong number 1 of Sweethearts and Heroes, things we offer. We offer all of our circle elements. And what that means is, like, we'll come into your school, we'll do circle with any age of your kids, we'll mix the ages together, we'll do circle with all of them, and just get them used to sitting in a circle, having fun, showing who they are, who they really are, not who they are pretending to be at the moment in front of their peers, sharing some emotional things, and creating bonds. Okay? Another thing we do is we can do it with your teachers. We can do it with all of the staff. We can also teach the teachers how to do it amongst each other and make that sustainable. Okay? So circle, just anything circles one prong of this light bulb. Okay? Another thing we offer is we can go into your school for the second prong, and we can offer one of our programs. Now, our programs consist of the STEP program, which you already brought up. Okay, Student Teacher Empathy Program, where one of our staff members, like I have had the experience to do, the pleasure to do with Georgia, I go in, I teach them how to present a message. And then they present that message to younger kids in their school. And then that's internal in itself. That's just a little ecosystem that repeats in itself. Another program we offer is the Brave program, like Joe, Pat, Tom. I did one this year with Enosburg. Another little program. It's a 6-week program where, you know, we go in and we take older kids, and they go down and they play with younger kids, they talk with younger kids, and then they reenact difficult situations that might be hard to process in a fun way so they can have some training on it. It's like a fire drill, but we call it a bully drill, okay? So those are our 2 prongs, the 2 prongs of the light bulbs. And that's with us. We do that. Or we can have one of your teachers start to incorporate all of this. We can get your teacher up to speed. And I want you to imagine the teacher connecting these two as that little curly wire that goes across, that little filament that goes across, okay? So we can have your teachers handle all of this. And what that really turns into is a full year-long course where, and this is what's happening in Peru, where, you know, your teachers combine elements of these programs, these circle things, they combine them, and they just bundle it up into a curriculum that Brian has written. We have like 101, 102, 103, 104, and they're project-based classes that one of your teachers has to actually teach, like a course. And there's credits involved, and it's just really awesome. Another thing that we offer is we offer and do this with our community ambassador programs. We'll come in, we'll evaluate your school, because every school is unique. We know this.
Definitely.
Every school faces its own challenges. We'll come in and we'll be the shell, and we'll bundle all this up for you and prescribe you exactly how it's supposed to go. And we will be the ones to get you there too. So we won't just say, yeah, do this, this, and this. See ya. You know, that's not really real. That's not really realistic. Like in theory, oh, that's cool, buddy, but who's going to do the heavy lifting? One of our people, like Joe or Pat, can come to your school and do the heavy lifting and take you from where you are, meet you right where you are at, and take you to where you want to go. And then, ideally, what you have with all those components, man, is you have a fully functioning light bulb that you can then plug into any school or community and light up the room it's in, light up your community. And
has Tom heard you say this?
Yeah, I just said this. I just made this up yesterday, bro. But this is what, because I was just trying to understand it better. I'm just trying to understand it even myself, you know? Like, how do you understand it simpler? And then this is where it gets really crazy. You get someone like Cheryl Richardson, who wants to give back to her community, a line worker, and she helps fund this stuff too, and brings the actual power. People like Chevy, who did this for their schools, who are bringing actual community money and putting it back to the community to help enlighten and help that school and shine light into the dark areas of their school. Like, that's what it's all about. That is the full, complete circuit, if you will. So it's just, you can't go wrong anywhere. You know, we'll meet you wherever you're at. We'll do whatever. And the Community Ambassador Program that we offer, if you still don't really understand exactly how it is, like, this is another epiphany I had yesterday. It reminds me of kind of like, have you ever seen like Bar Rescue or like Kitchen Confidentials or Kitchen Nightmares.
Bar Rescue.
It's a John Taffer show.
Yes. Sherilyn and I watched an episode of that.
Yeah, so
It's
like
really cool.
It's just interesting. So we come from the restaurant. We used to work in a restaurant. So just my brain goes to like restaurant stuff. So even Gordon Ramsay has like a show where he's like he goes into a diner and it's really dramatic. It's like, oh, what is going on?
Yeah.
You know, in the walk-in, and he just makes a spectacle. He points out all the little things that have gone wrong because this diner or whatever is going in the dumps. And
He's like, I have to just say this. He's like the Abby Lee of Dance Moms.
yeah, dude.
Sorry, I just had to say that. But yeah.
Exactly. But like, and that's how it goes. Does this actually work, bro?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, dude, I missed a sick opportunity of.
No.
Okay. Anyways, so it reminds me of that show because like, you know, Pat is gonna be like Gordon Ramsay, going in, looking at this stuff, you know, talking to the principals. What is your perspective on your school?
Yeah.
Oh, we have great school spirit. We have all this stuff. It's a perfect place to be. And Pat's gonna be like, okay. And then he's gonna go to the gym teacher. He's gonna go to the janitor. He's gonna go to the students. He's gonna go to, and guess what?
He's gonna go everywhere.
He's gonna get a lot of other opinions of how the school climate actually is. So it's crazy, you know, if your person in charge has a different view of what the school's actual climate is, how are you really going to make changes? It's going to be tough because they're in an alternate reality. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So it's going to be tough to make actual changes. So what Pat will do, or any community ambassador, Joe's doing it too, is he'll touch base with everyone. He'll analyze. He'll try a couple things out. And then because they're trained professionals in all of these mechanisms, they will assemble kind of like a protocol to get the school on track, make it self-sustaining, meet them where they're at, and build up an infrastructure so it can run by itself and they can leave. And they're not just going to do it. They're not just going to do it and say, here's your plan. They're going to actually spend time there, monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, doing it for them.
Yeah.
And that's really...
And with them.
And with them, exactly, and educating everyone along the way. So that's really how this all fits together. But yeah, so it's like a light bulb. So when I saw that today, I just thought I'd explain that.
This initiative is so massive, and you guys are just doing it, man, all over New England, and you're even, we could even say Eastern Seaboard. I mean, you're traveling everywhere. You guys are just moving constantly. It's incredible. We have some area schools around here that really need Sweethearts and Heroes. Really, really need you guys. Hopefully, they'll reach out.
Yeah, that would be
awesome.
awesome.
Or at least get on sweetheartsandheroes.com.
Get on sweetheartsandheroes.com. Tom sends like a billion emails like every day. So he has a lovely mailing list that Leon, knows all the stats for. You know, there's nuggets in there too. Like even if it's just so bizarre. We live in such a wild time where it's like we are literally puking out information to people of like, hey, here's stuff, try this, here's information, here's science, here's lessons, like, and I'm not I like at the very minimum, Abby, like just follow what Abby does on Instagram and Facebook. You're going to get a lot of cool tools.
Yeah.
Like if you're a principal and you're like, I don't have the funding, or I don't want to take the risk of bringing someone in, or is there any way I can do this gently? Like, dude, just watch our stuff for like a week and like you'll be able to do it for free with zero risk.
Yeah.
And then if it's like, wow, there might be something to this because the science aligns, we don't just make stuff up, dude. Like we do it all. We're all very fact-based. Like we don't just make this up. It's not because we feel this way today. Like, so anyways, if it seems to be like, wow, there might be something here, then reach out to us if you need to. But if you just want like a little sample without taking the risk or sticking your neck out too far, or whatever it might be that hesitates someone who has the ability to reach out and do it.
Follow the social.
Yeah, just follow the socials. Like constantly put. I mean, watch tonight. We're gonna premiere the thing tonight.
What
Watch
time's that hitting?
We're gonna do it at 6 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
It's gonna be live on our YouTube, which is just right. What do we do? What's the YouTube channel exactly? Sweethearts and Heroes. Yeah, Sweethearts and Heroes YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tag me up in that, would you?
Yeah, we will for sure. It's sick. It's
6
just
o'clock tonight.
17-minute video. Like if you're eating dinner with your family, watch it, comment on it, like it, share it if you want to. You know, it's just like I said, it's just a standalone little piece. It's just a little story.
We all know that what's going on in schools, that things are a little contentious right now. Doesn't matter what school district you're in, there's issues everywhere. Everywhere. And the kids are, as I have said many times before, paying the price when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Kids that are bringing with them to school weight that they're bringing from either the previous day, the previous week, their home life. Maybe it's a little bit of neglect. Maybe you throw in a little attention deficit, which I think we all have to a certain degree. Throw in a long winter, throw in video games, throw in maybe some poor nutrition, whatever it may be. Kids are mostly just looking for some attention. And if they're not getting it at home, if they're not getting it at school in the way they want, they may act out. Whether it's on the school bus, whether it's at school, whether it's at recess, in the classroom, whatever. There's a lot going on with kids these days. And if we can't figure out, like what you're saying, to let other kids in the school, maybe ones that are older, helping the youngers, and then getting the teachers involved and looking at things through a different lens here. If we can't get that figured out and start chipping away at this internally, we're screwed.
Yes, we are. But we know what to do.
I know you
And
guys.
we have
You
the
guys got
exact
the
playbook.
You got
Do
the
you have those
recipe.
photos we sent? I'm gonna explain these photos real quick.
Yeah, I've got them right
Pull those
here.
photos up. This is perfect for these photos. And you know, you say the attention thing. I want you to consider this as well. It might appear as attention because it does feel good to get attention. And sadly, attention can be kind of achieved by doing good things or poor things, right? But also, I want you to think like, do you think they're trying to fit in and just be accepted too? Do you know what I'm saying? Like less of like a currency of attention, or are these kids just trying to find people who will love them? Do you know what I'm saying too? Just a different thing to think about. So look at this photo right here. This is, let me see this.
Got a
photo.
little girl with the red cape on.
Yeah, I remember that photo. Yeah, so that was this was one of my step presentations. This was the actual first one, actually. So can you find the one where they're all doing the superhero poses real quick?
Yeah, I'll find it. Sure.
It should be there's a good one in there, and I just want to start there. Because this will just, I think, set into perspective exactly how powerful this program is. And this, once again, this is the STEP program here at Georgia Elementary Middle School, where I just barely finished up. Probably last week we had our final presentations there. And the STEP program is where we take, in this case, the first inaugural time with 8th graders. 8th graders had never been presenting this program before. It was only high schoolers. So here's a prime example of the end of the presentation. Look at all these little children. These were first graders. Super stoked, would you agree?
Yeah.
They seemed quite empowered.
Very.
This is, okay, just for people who are trying to put into perspective what's going on here through this photo, it's like, imagine a day you come home from middle school or high school, elementary school, and it was such a good day, and you got a little like token or something, and you put it on your wall, or you hang it up on your bedroom post or something. Like, for example, just sharing for me, like if I ever got a T-shirt for being recognized at school, like, wow, you did so good, here's a little star or a T-shirt, and you take it home with you, I would keep that thing even longer than I could wear it. Like, I would grow out of that thing before I threw that thing away because it meant so much to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, like if I got a little medal or something, like a silly little medal or something, I would hang it up with all, like, to be seen because I'm proud of it. You know what I'm saying? This is a day like that for these kids. They've received a cape and a mask from these older students who taught them how to recognize bullying and then how to stop it. So this is a very memorable day, a very fun day, and you can bet these capes aren't just going in the trash when they get home. They're not just getting swept away. These capes are going to be held on to, and every time they see them, they're going to be remembered. So that's kind of the emotional high of this moment. And what really got us here was both of these older students went down to this younger first grade classroom, and one of them taught them what bullying was, taught them honestly what bullying was, the 4 things that make up bullying, and how to recognize it out in their school. And then the second one comes on and talks about how do I say this? Well, they talk about that everyone's different, okay? So you don't need to feel shame or you don't need to feel bad about being different. If you happen to be someone who might be getting picked on or something for a difference, some, smaller or weaker on the inside feeling that you have insecurity, like, it's not that big of a deal. We're all different. Look to your left, look to your right. Do you look the same? Do you think the same? Do you want to be the same thing when you grow up? Everyone will say no. And you come to this conclusion that you're different than everyone else. And that's actually a really good thing. And then with those differences, like, they make us stronger, man. Like, this is all of Rick's stuff. So these are 8th graders teaching these kids that, hey, what makes you different? A hardship that you're going through, a hurdle that you're going through. Like, this is actually what's going to carve the character you become. If you view it that way. But if you view it as like, poor me, this has just totally ruined my whole life, my life's over, you're going to have that image of yourself, and you're not going to truly accept who you really are. So it's actually a message of self-acceptance as well. If you can realize you're different, if you can realize that what's made you different, what's been hard for you is actually the same very criteria that's going to build who you become and what your strengths are in the future, you're going to be able to accept every hardship you have against yourself as like, bro, this is who I am, and that's what it is. What can I do? And I'm going to share that with everyone else. So if they're going through something that's hard, they'll recognize the same thing. So it's a real huge, huge message of empowerment. And imagine this being a first grader, like, and hearing this from people who you look up to.
Yeah.
These are 8th graders. So I went to this school. So a first grader, and quite literally, one end of the school's first grade, and the exact opposite of this long building is 8th grade. So they are literally like the other end of the line here. Like, this is where I'm going to be when I grow older. And they're coming down to tell me this. How resonating are those messages, man? That's like so symbolic. And that's going to stick with these kids.
I love this, man.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the STEP program. And we can teach you how to do this. We can come in and do it for you in your school. We can do one, and this is the first time it's been done with 8th graders, and it worked fantastically. So it can be done even with 8th graders. And I'm willing to bet I could probably get 7th graders to do it. But high schoolers for sure. And I could even come in, or any of us could come in and do one of these programs at your school and take a couple of your staff members. I had 3 staff members right beside me for this program, this whole entire year. So they get to see how it worked. And then the next year, they know how it's made. They know how to do it. They know how to replicate it. They can do it now with their kids while I'm not even there. And now it's just an internal working. And even if you didn't want us to come in, Brian and I and Abby have built courses on how to do this on your own anyways, just standalone courses, which is the STEP program, which exists right now on Thrively, that you can just literally go through like as if you were like learning like a master class or something, like, you know, like, or like like an like an online course. You know what I mean?
Is all that on sweetheartsandheroes.com?
That's on Thrive. Yeah, so sweetheartsandheroes.com, but then there's a link. It just kicks you over to Thrively. Thrively's like the actual interactive platform where you can go through the lessons and hit complete and hit.
You know, these 8th graders, what they're doing, teaching the younger kids, that's so great, that's so important, but they're also teaching themselves.
You nailed it, man. You completely nailed it, because this is their first speaking engagement.
Yeah.
These are 8th graders. Like, I didn't take public speaking until I think I was in college.
Sure.
I think Rick took it in high school.
Yeah.
Abby, you've never taken a public speaking before, right?
Never.
No, like,
I never
You
have.
never have, right? But like, this is 8th graders, and it's low stakes. Were there mess ups? Of course there are mess ups. You know, it's your first time doing something, but they're low stakes. But I will tell you one thing that is unanimous. Every time the nerves are high going in, but immediately after,
There's
it
a
was
high.
the funnest thing in the world.
Yeah.
They want to do more.
They feel great.
And this is not just 8th grade. This is every human being who does this message. Because I think partially, one, you know, there's something to kind of stepping out of your comfort zone and kind of conquering the beast a little bit. But
Yeah.
two, when the message is this, dude, it can't. And you see these little smiles light up, and you know you're changing their lives. It's literally impossible to feel anything other than pure joy, and just feel extraordinary meaning. And then one last little layer. These 8th graders, look at, they're getting airtime here on your podcast. They're in the newspaper. They're celebrities of their school.
Yeah.
Now we go back to attention. Think about the attention that these 8th graders are receiving for doing something good in their lives. Now, if you want to develop habits around building attention and gaining attention, because attention and recognition does feel good. Of course it does. Now, their feedback loop is do good, therefore help the world, and I get attention for it.
Yeah.
That's way better than picking on someone and being the funny guy. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
frankly, could be so much more powerful than what they're doing on the athletic field or
Yes.
on the basketball court or wherever.
100%.
And these little kids see these 8th graders during the day. They see them. They might even ride the same school bus at the end of the day.
They do, actually, because oftentimes that's a beautiful observation. Because oftentimes they're like, I know you. Now think about that, dude. This blew my mind. If you have, and this was bizarre, because I didn't even consider this. If you say to 10 groups of kids, right, I want you to all come up a place where bullying happens, write it on a card and bring it to me. I guarantee you, 9 out of those 10 cards that you get back will be on the school bus. It'll be on the school bus. And it blew my mind. I was like, come on, guys. Like, stop choosing school bus. Like, why not the library? Why not the playground? Why not it doesn't happen as much there. It happens on the school bus. So now you have these little, like, secret agents of bullying superheroes that are on these school buses with these kids in a perfect prime time place to actually make a difference and step in and be someone's hero. And you just completely nailed it, because these younger kids recognize these older kids from their bus routes. It's a small school. They share the same bus routes.
You guys are doing it, man. And, you know, let's give some kudos to the North Country Chevy dealers who are writing a lot of the checks to make sure that this is getting into the schools.
Yeah.
Not getting, but getting and staying.
Yeah, and that is huge. We do need to definitely acknowledge that, because I specifically had 2 Chevy programs this past school year. I had the one with Georgia doing the step, and then I also had the one in Enosburg with Champlain Chevrolet, and
big shout out to them.
Big shout out, and even one of their staff would come to a couple of my meetups with the crew. She came to the first one, and she came to the last one. And that was a real unique thing, because with that step program specifically, that Chevy dealer didn't just sponsor that school. I mean, they sponsored that school, they sponsored that program, but because of their community and kind of, you know, how the program was going, we kind of went rogue, dude. We took those kids and we went to other schools.
Wow.
And we no, seriously, like we did like a miniature tour of this message. So so the Enosburg school, the elementary school, the middle school, the high school, is all about like from here. It's like a stone's throw away from the Chevy dealership. It's literally right next to the community. So they got a blast of this message of hope and action. But then we bust up and we went down to Sheldon School, which was like a 15-minute drive, and then they got a little hit of it too. So it's just really, really neat. We went there a couple times actually. So it's just really, really neat when you're talking about like people coughing up money to see change to empower their communities, like that Champlain Chevy group got way more reach than the initial scope was designated for. You know what I mean? So
Well, there's what, White River. You guys have been down there lately. Littleton Chevrolet.
Yep.
Right here.
Yep.
Cody Chevrolet, right down the road. They've brought your program over to U32.
That's exactly right. And any group, like, this is so sick because it's like, and that's just what needs to be done, right? They just need to drop it in. Like they just get the program there, and then they have access to the program for, like, they have all the programs.
Yeah.
Like, done. Now you can just do it on your own. Like, that is what's awesome. And once your staff knows how it operates, then it's, and you know, it can be tough to have the energy and invest the effort to convince your teachers or, you know, incorporate it. Like, it can feel tough, but it is just part of it. It's just, it's like, that's like part of the growth to make the adaptation for your school and your community. Like, and you know, if you're looking at what it takes to get these things in, the Chevy's coughing up the bill and investing in your community, you ought to at least take that ball and run with it for these schools. Like, we're there. We give you the tools. Use the tools now. Because, you know, when we leave, if Chevy doesn't cough it up, or if these schools don't want to, you know, have us back for whatever their own reasons are, they have all the opportunities at their hands right now.
I want to say to our followers, anyone who's watching this, please take this link and send it to any school, any administrator, any teacher, any parent, any principal, superintendent, anywhere that doesn't have Sweethearts and Heroes yet, haven't discovered you guys, which started right here in Vermont.
It started in Vermont. It's a Vermont company. And it's still in Vermont. It's headquarters. This is where all of our stuff comes out of, all of our media, all of our curriculums, lessons. We have schools here. We have presentations here.
You live here.
I live here. I've been here my whole life.
Yeah.
Like,
get this link to as many ears as you can.
And there's so much free stuff as well. So if you're like, still not sold yet, which is okay, dude, like, it takes a little bit, you know? It is what it is. Maybe you don't want to roll the dice on it. In your own mind is what you see this as. Like, use the free stuff we have.
Yeah.
Use it. Why not? Because we just care about changing the world and helping these people.
Sure.
So use the free stuff. Like, that's why we put it out.
Yeah.
We don't put it out to be like, don't use it. You know what I mean? Like,
and, you know, you're so passionate, dude. I mean, for you and Abby to get up so early to drive all this way and come here and bring your message to the air is awesome. I always look forward to having you in here.
Well,
and you guys are just kicking ass, all of you.
Bro.
All of you. I mean, yeah, dude. I know.
Steel-toed flip-flops.
I see that. Listen, probably wasn't a great idea that we did the whole backward hat thing today.
What do you mean? You want to flip them around for the last second?
No.
Want to go punk rock with me for the last?
I gotta say though, you do look better than I do though.
I never wear my hat backwards.
I'm too old to be wearing the hat backwards. Just can't.
You
do
look
it.
cool, man.
No, I don't. I really don't. You do. You do. Thanks for coming in here, brother.
Thank you so much. It's
One
great
more
to see
time
you
on
today.
on the socks and the flip flops. Come on.
You want to see them?
one
You
more
want to
time.
smell them? Actually,
I don't.
No.
Wow.
The windmill.
Yeah.
That's a windmill
I see
right
that.
there.
You need to get some help, bud. Okay. Love you.